configuration. So that's pretty much that. Right now I'm going to try Need for Speed Shift 2 over again because I really wasn't impressed by my last review. So we're going to try that out with the controller this time. And maybe see if I can go in the options, see if they got some kind of setting where I can kind of play and show you guys. Yeah, this game, you can see frames per second. This is just at the title right now. Sorry I'm not showing the logo right here because I got scared later on today on YouTube. I thought they were taking one of my videos down because it got some kind of ID content logo. So YouTube's got some really copyrighted problems, so you just gotta kind of, you know, be careful when you're recording different kinds of things. Okay, so we're in the main menu right now, and I'm gonna go back into the options. This is a part 2 review, so if you're wondering why am I showing that again, because I didn't get outside car view. So I don't know how well you can see it. I'm playing a 1920 by 1200 resolution. It's a 60 Hertz monitor. No window mode, high res texture resolution, so it's the highest settings you can have. Anisotropic filtering, texture filtering is 16x. VSync is off, so VSync will lock the frames per second at the monitor's refresh rate. So in this case it'd be 60 frames per second. Anti-aliasing is, so I just say AA because I can't pronounce it right, is a high setting. Motion blur's high, reflection quality's high, card detail's high, track detail's high, and shadow detail's high. So this is hands down the highest settings that you can get. So we're just going to go, let's see, go into my garage and I'll try to pick a different car for this review. So right here in this main menu where it's kind of showing the cars right now, that's 152 frames per second. So this isn't a super demanding game, but I like to benchmark it because I've had the EVGA, or I mean I had the, you know, the other cards, the AMD ATI HD 5870 1GB cards, and at that time this game was super demanding. So right now one of my favorite cars is Subaru WRX STI. In real life I'd love to have this car. It's just so crazy with the all-wheel drive and turbo on the 4-cylinder motor. So we're just going to select this car right now for a race, and I'll just go into a little quick race. Okay, here we go. I'm trying not to make something where it's too crazy. We're going to have some opponents on here, so yeah, so 15 cars. We're just going to make it really crazy. Oops. Oh, I didn't save it. Darn it. Sorry about that, you guys. So same thing, daytime. We're going to play that right now. And this is the highest graphics settings you can get. This is a Need for Speed Shift 2 Unleashed. And I think this is a 2011 game. This came out a while ago. I'm getting 81 frames per second, 85 right there. So 85 right there. Plays butter smooth. So we're just going to drive around just a teeny bit in the inside car view. And playing with the Xbox 360 controller, so it's a little bit easier. 81 frames per second, 82 frames per second. It's not bad. Not bad. Pretty smooth, as you can see. Really smooth. Here's some of the frames per second right now. So I just got hit right now. So we're gonna go back and race. Yeah, just, oh, there's a car. Oh man, traffic accident. Crazy. Okay. 91, 98, 100 frames per second. This, I don't know what it is. This game, I know you're seeing the high frames per second, but you really want this game to be up in that, you know, 90 to 100 frames per second, because you'll get these big dips and big drops where at one point it will be like 60 frames per second, and then it will just drop to like 40 or 30 frames per second. Not on the EVGA 670 GTX for the win, because it's got all that VRAM and it's a high performance card. It's pretty much a 680 GTX because it's clocked the same. The only difference between the EVGA 670 GTX for the win and the 680 GTX, the reference card, is they disabled some of the Nvidia CUDA cores. So I think on a 680, I'm just off of the top of my head, let's just say it has 1500 CUDA cores. They disabled it, I think, to like 1300 on the EVGA 670 GTX for the win. Don't quote me on that, I'm not 100% sure on that. So yeah, we're just playing right now. And let's see if I can try to get out of here. Frames per second, very, very, very smooth. Okay, so here we go. We're finally outside car view. This is what I was trying to do on the last video. This is the frames per second right now, so we're just going to go outside the car view. You can see where I got in a big accident. This is the Subaru WRX STI. I love this car. I love watching some of the racing games like Dirt 2. Okay, so right now we're racing 107 frames per second. Really, really butter smooth. I have it on the highest settings, VSync off. And even though this is an older game, I played Need for Speed Shift 1. I didn't like it. I played this game. I freaking love it. They changed everything around with the Need for Speed Shift 2 Unleashed. Updated graphics, really smooth. I remember I had lag. I had to download a whole bunch of patches just to play Need for Speed Shift 1. And I love this game. Need for Speed The Run, which is another game I probably could have tested. That game has some flaws. It's real easy to max out. You can max it out on pretty much any video card. The problem with that game is it will lock the frames per second. It's got that frames per second cap that I was telling you about, like in the Dishonored review. It will lock that frames per second to 30 frames per second, and that's unacceptable because when you're playing your games, you're going to get lag. It just, to me, it's laggy. I like to keep it above 60 frames per second. Here's the frames per second. There's no game besides Metro that I can't max out with the EVGA 670 GTX for the win so far at the date of release. Right now I played almost everything. The new games that are coming out, just keep ahead. 2013 Codemasters, which makes a lot of racing games I like Dirt. And you can see right here, 100 frames per second. They're showing all the cars. Let me see if I can show you just like a little preview of when you're racing around. It went down to 93 frames per second. Here, I'll show you a little when we were driving around. So this would be the preview mode. Really, really smooth. Okay, sorry, like I was saying, the new games that are coming out, Codemasters makes a lot of the racing games I love. So the F1 series, F1 2010, 2011, 2012, some of the Dirt 2 series, Dirt 1, Dirt 2, Race Driver Grid, which was an old game of 2009. It's one of my favorite games. I spent like ridiculous amount of hours playing that online. I would say maybe like 2,000 hours playing it online, and I think I got about 1,000 hours played on Dirt 2 online, you know, so I used to play that game a lot. Same with Dirt 3, I don't really like it. The cars feel different when you're racing, but back to the story. 2013, they're coming out with Race Driver Grid 2, so if you can look at the links, I'll see if I can put a link to a trailer video in the description of this video, and the next game coming out is the Medal of Honor Warfighter series. So this is the new game. It's going to be the new Medal of Honor coming out. I'm not sure, I think it's 2013 it's coming out, or maybe this year, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's 2013, I think. From what I've seen from the graphics, it's using the same engine. It's called the Frostbite 2 engine, and that's the engine they use in Battlefield 3. So it's the exact same engine that they're using in Race Driver Grid 2, also, this Frostbite 2. And Frostbite 2 is DirectX 11. So you're getting the highest graphic settings that you can in DirectX 11. So the point of the story is, if you can max out Battlefield 3 right now, you're probably going to be able to max out Medal of Honor Warfighter when it comes out, from what I've seen. and they're trying to say Breach Driver Grid 2 is going to be more demanding, but they're taking out the cockpit view, you know, the view that you could drive inside the car. So they're taking that view out, and which is kind of stupid, but they're going to try to make the graphics look even better on that. And right now we're getting 109 frames per second. You can see how smooth this game is. I couldn't play it smooth with the EVGA's, or I mean the 1 GB Sapphire HD 5870 graphics cards, because when I would try to play it very, very smooth, it wouldn't play smooth at all. I would end up getting only one GPU would work, so that makes Crossfire useless. When one GPU works, that means you only have one video card. So here you are with 2 video cards that cost $880, and you can only use one. That's why I got rid of the AMD HD 5870 1 GB cards. The Crossfire drivers were horrible. I was using them for like a year or two, you know, expecting these drivers to improve, where I would have 100% Crossfire performance from both video cards, and it wasn't like that. And I would read on the AMD forums. This is why I don't recommend ATI AMD video cards from experience. The AMD forums, nobody would come in there and help these people who are asking these questions. Why am I getting such low performance on a $800 6990 video card? Or, you know, there's no excuse. You need somebody to go in those forums and those posts where these people are asking for questions and really, really need help, and just asking, you know, for help. They need to go in there and help them. So yeah, this is another review. I felt bad that you guys had a crappy review on that other video for this, because you only got the inside car view. And you can see the performance is crazy on this. This is Need for Speed Shift 2 Unleashed. It's on the max settings. I did patch it to the latest patched pirate version, so most of the games, pirate version, you know, you download or whatever. I do have a lot of games on Steam, and a lot of games that I do buy, and I have a huge collection of games, but they're older games. A lot of these new games, they're not worth the $60 to $80 retail price that they're going for. You know, when you play some of these PC games, they're just not worth it. They're crappy. The worst game that I played so far was this Codemasters Dirt Showdown. I don't know if you guys seen that. It's like a game where you crash cars on like a derby, destruction derby. And it was just hands down awful, really awful. So I don't recommend you playing that game. Max Payne 3, I can play that max settings. If you turn down the AA, you're always going to get usually about 60 frames per second. If you turn on the AA, it goes down to 40 frames per second average. So if you turn off AA, it's 60 to 80 frames per second on Max Payne 3 max settings, pretty much.